Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Kyle and you are watching Sweet Potatoes, and today we are doing a bit of a different kind of video. One, because I did get a nifty little toy, the DJI Pocket 2. I know there's like a Pocket 3 and maybe a Pocket 4, but picked myself up a DJI Pocket 2 and I was making proxies for Riftbound, right? Been playing quite a bit of Riftbound, been doing a lot of brewing of decks and stuff, having a lot of fun with that. I know I need to be working more on the videos, so decided I'd make a video, and we are going to learn how to make proxies. So for those of you who want to play Riftbound, and there are other ways to go about it, but for those of you who want to play Riftbound and want to do it physically, like a physical game, proxies are definitely going to be the way to go about it, and I'm going to teach you how I make proxies. So this is not something that I came up with. I was watching a whole bunch of different videos on it, and I'll link the video that I followed the most. It was really well done video, so I'll link that in the description below. But yeah, just as a heads up, if you were looking to play Riftbound, there are other ways to do it aside from making proxies. You have really two big ways. One, of course, is going to be tabletop simulator. So I know there's mods and everything like that. And then another is going to be Pixelborn. Right, Pixelborn. So the guy who made it for, basically did his online client for Lorcana, and I know, I don't know if, Ravensburger basically took that down, but he is working on it for Riftbound. I tried it weeks ago and it worked pretty well, but it's buggy. I'm sure by now, by the time I'm recording this, it's probably way better. So that's another way to go about it. That's probably a way that I am going to play a little bit more, and I might even do some games through Pixelborn, maybe through Tabletop Simulator as well, but we'll see. But I did just want to make a video again talking about proxies and how to make them. So I was already working on a sheet, and I guess, sorry for the giant mess. My office was cleaner and I made it a mess again. So we are going to take a look, and I'm still trying to get used to working this Pocket 2, but I just want to show you kind of the iterations that I've gone through with making proxies. So yeah, so just wanted to show off what I've gone through in terms of my process for making proxies. So the way it started, and you can see here's a proxy from this is a proxy from before they even came out with their new design on things, and we'll show off the other ones here, but don't hate on me. So this was printed on just regular paper through Staples is what I ended up doing there. I glued it to Lorcana, basically bulk that I bought off eBay for like 2-3 cents a card. I didn't really have anything else to use at the time, so sorry to you who, yeah, I know. Anyways, so I ended up gluing it with just like glue stick here, and then that's what you have here. That's pretty much the first iteration of proxy that I did. Now, before, originally what I did was I actually didn't glue it, and I just used the card, whatever card, you can use that as backing. So just kind of like if you were to take this, so here's kind of an example here of one that was cut. Do I have a card on hand? Okay, here we got a MetaZoo card. We have a piece of paper right here, and then what I would do, or what I first tried, was of course just without gluing it, I would place it in, and then boom, there you go. The problem I found with this was that it would puff up so much, like when you had the full deck, it just puffed up, and that was kind of annoying to me. So I opted for gluing it, which did help, but it was a lot of work, right, to do this. So there was that, and the second iteration was this here. Same thing, or no, just kidding, this one. So this was also printed from Staples, also backed with Lorcana bulk. Again, it wasn't bad, it worked really well. The problem, if you can hear it, was, you know, you'd you'd want to play the cards, and it just didn't feel great because it's the glue sticking and cracking and breaking. So that's when I thought, okay, there needed to be a better way. And then here is kind of the final product here. Same card. This one's a tiny bit messed up because of the print lines, and we'll talk about that. But basically this was printed using two things. One was 300, what was it? What is it called? It's like Cardstock, but 300 GSM. Hold on. Well, this says 216 GSM. This here. It says 216 GSM. I typed in 300 GSM, but that's what came up. So that's what I used there. And then I also used photo paper. So here's kind of, and I'll link all this in the description below. But here is kind of like the paper that you'd use. Here's an unused sheet. And basically what you would do is, this is basically a big sticker that you can, if you can see it, big sticker that you can peel off and then place on the cardstock paper. So ultimately you do that, and then you get this. So really nice proxy. Of course, you can still see white paper. You place it in the sleeve, and voila, boom. And I do just want to say, so now these proxies are not meant to be realistic. They aren't meant to be the nicest things ever. They're just meant to, well, I kind of like it when they're nice, but they're meant to help you play the game. Riftbound isn't out yet, so that is the way to do that, right? If we want to play Riftbound there. So let me go ahead and show you, and again, I'll link the papers that I used there, and then the video that I kind of followed for this. But I wanted to walk you guys through the process of at least creating a sheet, and so you can, you know, do that, and you can do that for the rest of the sheets that you make. So I was already making a sheet. I was making an Ari deck, and really I was making it for Lace because she was interested in playing Ari, and I figured I'd make kind of like a baseline deck, and she can kind of build around it. So this one is, I was making an RE control deck, and you can see these were some of the cards they just announced yesterday. They released like 30 or something cards, new cards, and so it's been a lot of fun theory crafting different decks. So this one's going to be more of an RE control deck. Where was it here? Okay, so to kind of show you my process here, I'm using Canva, and there are different ways to go about it. So shout out first off to Piltover Archive. You can build decks here, and this is actually one way that you can print proxies. So don't feel like you have to do my system here. When I did the print proxies through, I haven't tried it in a while, but when I did do the print proxies through Piltover Archive, they turned out a little bit smaller than I wanted. And I know you're supposed to do a fill page, but you also couldn't really get it in high quality. I don't know, it was weird. So I kind of finagled my way to making my own sheet. And so I made sure to use just regular standard size 8.5 by 11 paper. So that's the template here. And then for each box, and just to kind of show you guys here, if I duplicate this page, to show you each box, right? Those are the boxes there that I fit the cards within. It's standard card size. I think 2.5 by 3.5. I use standard Pokemon card size. 2.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall. That was the size, right, that I used. So that's kind of what I made these out of, and that's how I did it. So I made just lines, tried to get as close to 2.5 by 3.5 as possible. It's not perfect, but it works. And so then we have our template here. Now, I was already gonna make some Sonas here. So I was gonna do 3 of in this deck. So what I did was I actually, so again, walking through what I personally did, I went to the actual Riftbound website, and it's a little bit annoying to navigate because you can't filter anything. So if I know what deck I'm making, I'm going to open up 2 windows, one window for one color and another for the second color. And so here we have Sona. Now I want to make sure that if I do grab it, I'm not actually going to grab this copy here. I'm going to click on it. This is kind of like a higher quality version. So basically you copy this, or you can drag it over, right? And then there you have your Sona. So that's the Sona there. Same thing. All I really did was take this. I set the transparency down only for me to be able to zoom in and then like help me size it, right? So just kind of size it up as best as you can. The icon here is kind of a good indicator for the most part. And then once that is all set and ready to go, I go ahead, take off the transparency there. Now the cards and my first iterations, they actually printed out kind of dark. So I did increase the brightness. You can mess with this however you want, but so if you decide to go through Canva, I mean, this is just how I did it. When you adjust it, I made the brightness 25 and I copied this to each one. 25 contrast, -15, whites 5, blacks -5. And that's really all I messed with, right? I didn't mess with the tint, the temperature, or anything like that. It worked pretty well. I mean, it's not perfect, and some colors do come out just slightly funky, but nothing crazy. So again, if you're using Canva and if you're using a different method, there's other ways to do it. Just increase the brightness. But through Canva, Control-Alt-C, and that copies it to the clipboard, the style. And then I just Control-Alt-V, and you can see Sona did become brighter, right? You can't do it multiple times, just does it the once. Then I take this, drag it down here, because this was already the sheet that I was making, so I have lecturing Yordle here. I got my Sona. I am going to delete these 3 because Sona is going to be a 3 of. We are gonna go ahead and, again, you can kind of see we're lining up as best as possible. And sorry, I'm looking like at the camera. I got my phone here attached to the DJI Pocket, so I'll figure it out as I go. Anyways, so we pretty much line that up as best as possible, and then just duplicate it and then do the same thing. Now, I will say again, this method is a slight bit tedious to do it this way. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so this is kind of how I wanted to do it. But you can also go through, there's, I think at least, the biggest one is Piltover Archive. So go through that one. It'll probably save you a ton of time and still come out really well. So this is just how I'm doing it here. A little bit convoluted, but I have a little bit more control over how I want to do things. So I think we got the Sonas there, and then just to come over, what else did I have a 3 of? I like to keep it kind of clean. Singularity, okay. So we just need to, again, come over here to the blue. We are gonna grab Singularity, make sure I get the big copy here. Gonna drag it over. All right, it turns out big. And sorry if I'm going a little bit fast. I don't want this video to go on too long. It's already at least 19 minutes unedited. So turn down the transparency. We're gonna line it up. And I do, so with the black lines, right? The black borders do make it a little bit hard to size the cards. So I do like to use any kind of full art here so that I can actually, when I do set the card I want and set its transparency, then it's a lot easier to see the lineup. So drag it down, set the transparency back, and then we are gonna turn up the brightness, delete those 3, and then again do the same thing. Raise it up a little bit. Okay. I like to center it so that like the black line actually does go a little bit past it, right, on all of them. Just to give me a little bit more room for error there. Okay, so we are going to now line everything up as best as we can. And then one last one. Cool. That should be good. Cool. So we now have our sheet. It's basically ready to print. So I'm going to go ahead and again, if you're not doing this through Canva, either go through Piltover Archive or find some kind of workaround here. But really the settings that you are looking for, and I think the ones that kind of came out the best, especially through Canva. So make sure you set it to PDF print. I didn't mess with crop marks and bleed, flatten PDF, or include notes. Well, include notes doesn't matter, but these didn't mess with. Make sure to set it to the current page. And for color profile, there's really not that much of a difference. I think the CMYK came out a little bit darker, but I couldn't really tell. The printer I'm using uses that color scheme anyways, so I just set it for CMYK. And then download it to your computer, and then we're pretty much ready to print. Now, the print settings I had to mess with, and I'm gonna show you, but I had a lot of kind of mess ups or trials. Is that the right word? You'll see what I'm talking about here. So yeah, you can see all the ones that I've been printing here. So here we have the sheet ready to print. And I'm sure if you watch this, there's probably way better ways to go about this. I had to, again, finagle my way through. So when I print, this print screen here didn't have enough options for me. It has some settings, you can set the scale, and it never really worked out well. And especially when you copy it to that photo paper, that sticker paper, it says that you should be printing it to a photo paper setting. And I'll show you what I mean here. So didn't have enough settings here. I actually had to go to print using system dialog is what it says. So we come here, we head to preferences, and media, it actually allows me to select photo paper for one. And if we go to advanced, we can actually set the output quality to high. You can set it to normal, especially if you don't care that much about the proxies being like too nice looking. I kind of like them nice looking. Not that I'm trying to go like super realistic, but it's just nice to kind of have nice looking proxies, I guess. So we set to high quality. I messed with scaling multiple times to fit and fill, but for some odd reason, it just made it smaller, and I don't know why. So I actually kept the scaling off to none here. Borderless printing also messed it up. The only thing I messed with was high quality. So did that, make sure to set it to photo paper, right? And then what we actually have to do before I click print, and you can, of course, you can preset this up. Ooh, this thing is hot too. We are gonna come over here, make sure I can actually, okay. So I already got my, and I know it's a mess. Got my paper set up here. Now I place one at a time, only because this paper, when left out, does kind of warp a little bit, so. Okay. And then, once we have that, okay. So we're back at the desk, and now I'm gonna go ahead and hit print. Oop. Okay. So, I guess now we wait. Oh, and I guess while we're waiting, to show you guys some of the kind of mess ups, or at least, again, what I was talking about here. So, definitely a good way to do this, especially if you're not sure how it's going to turn out. Don't do high quality, don't do color, don't waste ink like that. So you can see when I tried to do like a fill, it didn't reach the edges. And if you look at my prints here, like the actual good prints so far, like they reach way closer to the edges here. You are basically looking for it to be the size of a trading card, right? As close to one as possible. And again, here is the MetaZoo card, and then boom. So you can see it's just maybe a very slight bit smaller, but it works, right? So again, here you can see a test print sheet. Here's another one. So again, this was the Ari that I was building for my wife at the moment here. And then it looks like, gonna have to clear some space here. Okay. So it looks like these came out. Let's take a look-see. Sorry guys, I'm doing this on the fly. So this is the test print right here. Test print, or just the proxy print. I think it came out pretty good. Look at that. Is it gonna focus? Can it focus? I'm still trying to figure out the DJI. I'm still trying to figure out the DJI Pocket 2. Like if I tried to really zoom in, it doesn't look like it does too great of a job autofocusing, but that's probably just a setting I need to fix. So anyways, where am I gonna put this? Here. I don't know why you're trying to go up. Okay. So, to show you guys... yeah, sorry. I decided to do this very, very impromptu. Very sorry about the mess. But, again, I have my photo paper I just printed out. We are going to take one of these cardstock paper. Again, a little bit thicker, quite a bit thicker than regular paper. And what we are going to do, make sure, hopefully you guys can see this as best as possible. There we go. That should work. There we go. Okay. So we got that paper off there. I'm not going to take the whole thing off. I'm just going to take a little bit of part of it, and don't feel like you have to do this part perfectly. You are going to cut it anyways. So just want to make sure we get that lined up there. And then once you pretty much have that lined up, just pull straight. Don't stop. Now we just need to take out the bubbles. So we're going to take this, place it on top, and we are going to flatten. And again, the side that had the sticker paper on it, that's the side that I put on against the prints, the ink. And then once you just flatten that out, boom, there you go. You have your sheet and it's pretty much ready to cut. So now we're going to go ahead and come over here, and just to kind of, hopefully I can show this as best as possible here. We are going to, it's way easier to actually have a light. So what I like to do is actually use my phone. Hopefully we're still recording. Cool. So I actually like to take my phone and set it down so you want light on top and light on bottom. And that way you can actually line it up really well. Right now, again, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. Just it does take a little bit of practice to get used to doing. So line it up. And again, this part does not have to be lined up perfectly, but I do like to get it as good as possible. All right. And so there we have it. Hopefully you guys can see that there. We have a proxy. And to show you guys the last and kind of unnecessary step, you don't have to do this. It's again just a tiny bit of extra work. But it does make the cards look just a little bit nicer. We are going to, let me go ahead and set this up here. Okay, so here we have our card. Now, you can actually pick up a corner cutter like this off of Amazon, right? And really all you do, and this is kind of why I have this bowl here, you do get a lot of little pieces of paper. So all you really do, line it up, quick little process there, go through all the corners, and there you go. So as you can see, I mean, sometimes it doesn't really cut cleanly, but there you go. So you can now see that the corners are rounded instead of, you know, that sharp edge. And there you have a proxy. So that is how you make the proxies. So I think that's, yeah, that's not too hard. It does take a little bit of time to do it the way that I showed you. Again, you can go through Piltover Archive, and you don't just have to do this. I mean, you can do this with any trading card game that you at least have access to the photos or files of the cards with, just like Riftbound. So when new cards do come out, I do have to wait. I like to wait at least till the end of the day, because when new cards are revealed, that is when the end of the day is when Riftbound themselves, or I guess Riot, will go ahead and post it up on the Riftbound website, and those are actually really high quality images. So those are the ones that I do like to take. And again, just disclaimer, these are only made to be what they are made to be, proxies, right? They're meant to be fakes. They're not meant to be super real. They're not meant to be sold or anything like that. I'm just showing you guys how you can play Riftbound right now. So you can create these proxies. Again, I will go ahead and link everything in the description below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video here. Go out, make proxies, show your friends. You could even bring these to your local game store if you wanted to, maybe, you know, if they don't have demo decks already. This is a great way to go about it. So yeah, hopefully again you guys enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments if you have tried this out, if this is how you are, you know, playing Riftbound right now, like my wife and I are. We are excited about the game, so it's very fun. We're having a lot of fun with it. Deck building is a lot of fun. We really love that there's it feels like there's a large variety of ways to play, which is great, right? Like I mean, we haven't seen all the cards revealed yet, but it just feels like there's so much possibility, which is fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day, guys. Bye-bye.